Limited force. What do we know about it, and what will the president be doing today to sell this?
Well, we heard, first of all, yesterday this White House come out very strongly, Sarah, and say that regime change is not the goal here. We're talking about a limited use of military force. The suggestion has been from U.S. officials that the administration would target chemical weapons facilities within Syria, send a direct message that the Syrians crossed that red line with the use of chemical weapons, that this is an international norm that has been crossed here, and that an international response is necessary, or else you're going to send a message to other countries beyond Syria that you can use chemical weapons and get away with it. That is not a message the White House wants to send right now, but limited is important. This is an administration that does not want to send a message that we're going back to Iraq and Afghanistan, that sort of thing.
Right,
this is something
Peter,
that the president, of course, campaigned on as a senator, Tom.
Within your research, your reporting, what are the targets? What are we exactly going after?
Well, I think that's one of the things they're sweating right now. Exactly what are the targets that will send a message? Again, these chemical facilities, the kinds of facilities that not only store these materials, but also might be in the use of actually developing them, putting them on rockets, for example. But they also want to send a message. They may not be targeting the regime, Tom, but there's certainly some within the administration, certainly some in Congress who'd like this message to be more than just that this has to be something with force. It's got to have a shock value to some extent on the Syrians, and has to send a message you cannot get away with this if you do it again. So there's a debate right now as to how far to go with this strike, Tom, how many cruise missiles to send, what those targets would be. I think that's one of the things they're sweating right now, and one of the reasons this might take a little bit longer than people think.
Peter, what's the political process going to be once President Obama decides on a course of action?
Well, first of all, you're going to watch for several touchstones during the course of the next few days. One is this notion that they're going to declassify some of the intelligence that tells the United States that the regime itself had something to do with the use of these chemical weapons. And then you're also seeing already not only the international sales pitch, the effort to try and put together this coalition, but also an effort to consult with members of Congress, key members of Congress, leadership, the key committees in question, but perhaps, Sarah, not convene the entire Congress as a whole. That's going to be a big question mark. There are both Democrats and Republicans calling for the president to seek approval on it.
How important politically, Peter, is it for the president to get international support on this move and to have countries like Britain move with the United States on Syria?
Well, the optics here are critically important, and of course this is important. This is a president, again, who was critical of the Bush administration for going it alone in foreign policy. This president does not want to go alone here. He's going into Syria reluctantly. He's been reluctant to get involved up to this point, and so I think the fact that they've got the Arab League, they've got NATO nations involved here, very important for this administration. They'd love to have the UN going along too, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen.